you care about winning, you'll get better on defense.
Well, he's got the offense taken care of. Golden State Stamkos, top angle, left pass Dave by Shesterkin, a beauty. Hedman, slot, shot, score! Andre Palat makes it 3-2, Tampa Bay.
2 sports ball games on your Sunday. This is Interesting to See, your daily sports podcast. News, narratives, takes, gambling. Haven't done gambling in a while because I make most of my money on the American sport of football. We can do some, though. I should get into baseball. Anybody that wants to go pro wins all their money on baseball. Welcome. We are in June. We are in the throes of June. I said emphatically, aggressively last year. Remember when I was freaking out about why the NBA and the NHL, how cool this is, how cool this is, how cool this is? Yeah, well, they fucked up and they went back to their normal schedule, and here we are. The NHL is later than the NBA this year because they had to take a 2-week COVID hiatus because their policies are more intense. They have 7 Canadian teams, so they had to do that. But both of them were like, yo, that stuff where we competed against the NFL all fall, and then we were just like sitting on our asses in July. That was sweet. We don't like making money. Anyway, Game 2 of the NBA Finals was last night. Another blowout. This blowout, there was the second half blowout of the Finals in 2 games. Storylines from this game, if you're a Boston person, Draymond Green is cheating and the NBA is rigged for the Warriors, which like 2 years ago, if I'd heard that would have been quite the take. Everybody hates Boston, totally. Yeah, they never have any good luck in sports. And then what else is another good narrative? The Warriors are good. We've had a game. These games have been not great. What's happened is in the first game, the Celtics were able to win, despite Jason Tatum not playing very well. And last night, the Warriors were able to win without Klay Thompson playing very well. And so I say this a lot in golf when you watch, if you ever watch a Sunday golf and it come down the stretch, you hate to see guys lose a golf tournament. I want to see everybody playing really well, and I want to see a guy beat another guy. I want to see someone win it. I don't want to see people lose it. I want to see everybody on the finals. I want to see everybody in the court out of their minds, and then some team just beats another team. We got a lot of that for about 10 years in a row, and we took it for granted. Like even in the finals where LeBron James is like willing the Cavs to win one game against the Warriors, or when the Cavs came back from 3-1 against the Warriors, or when LeBron and the Heat were playing the Spurs in back-to-back. Those were epic. I don't want to see this. We're like it's just awkward. This NBA final, this has been the worst NBA playoffs I can remember. There's been no flow and nobody's played well. It's really strange and kind of shitty. I don't know what else to say about it. It's really kind of weird. In the National Hockey League, the New York Hockey Rangers, I think on Friday it was, they beat Tampa, which was a huge deal because it was the first time in 3.5 years in the playoffs that the Lightning lost back-to-back games. Which means Andre Vasilevsky in those back-to-back games had something like a 0.1 goal against average. He was averaging a shutout. He averages a shutout in elimination games. Unbelievable. And the Rangers were able to beat him twice in a row. And I watched that game. Andre Vasilevsky, perhaps the greatest goaltender of all time. He's like right in that conversation now. He looked like shit. And the Rangers whooped their ass. But Tampa comes back from down 2-0. In the game to beat the Rangers. They score 40 seconds left in the game. And I kind of like that. That's a new trend in hockey. Instead of just like everybody's taking the stalemate and going to overtime, you push for it. And the Lightning they've done that twice now. They did it against Florida. They scored with 2 seconds left in the game instead of going to overtime. And here against the Rangers, they score with 40 seconds left. Andre Palat. That series is 2-1. Also over the weekend, the Edmonton Oilers got the ass whipped again. So the first game of the series was close. It was like, I think the final score was 6-8. And at one point it was 6-7 with the goalie pull, so it was really close. The Oilers did their best to kind of make it interesting. They're up 1-0, and we get this hit if you're watching on Instagram, or is this on Instagram? Did I put this on Instagram still? I don't remember. Maybe I should. I could put it on Instagram. We'll see what happens. This is, of course, Twitter from Spittin' Chicklets. Evander Kane got a 1-game suspension for this cross-check. Let's watch it now. We can do it without the sound. So see that right there? See the cross-check? So Evander Kane, I guess we'll play. We'll see what the announcer's reaction is. Want to hear it? Well, we can listen to it.
And across it goes to Catry. This is
ugly. So I'll say this. As far as cross-check goes, this is instigator on instigator crime. If Evander Kane, someone with this kind of strength, and he hits Nassim Kadri, Kadri has a bunch of suspension histories himself. Kane, of course, he is a great pest, and if you don't know what that is in hockey terms, it means someone who's really good. It's like a Richard Sherman, where like they're really good and they talk shit and they get under your skin and they win the fight. Like they seem like they are. What if a goon? If you know what the term goon is in hockey, what if they were good? Those are pests and goons and whatever. These guys are both. Those are the each other's don't fuck with me guy. That was don't fuck with me on don't fuck with me, and it was dirty. It was so dirty. He gets a 1-game suspension. The internet doesn't agree. I think it was dirty. Just cross-checked him as he was going into the boards. He also kind of slipped. At that point in the game, Edmonton's up 1-0. Colorado would go on to, that would light a fire under their ass a little bit. It happened early in the game. You see, Edmonton scored like a minute in, and Colorado whipped them 4-2. That's how it ended up. And now that series is 3-0. Everyone was really excited to see that series as the 4 of the best 10 players on the planet right now going at each other. Shouts to TNT for getting that, and that series looks like it's going to be wrapped up, but Tampa and New York are going to be good. Okay, that's the playoff recap. We missed some playoff games because it was over the weekend. We have way more cool stuff to talk about other than the playoffs because those are not the cool things that happened. First of all, we got a big shout-out, a crazy shout-out to Rafael Nadal. Unbelievable. Look at him. Glorious. For Spain, buddy, what's up? The King of Clay does it again. He beat Novak Djokovic in the semifinals to win the French Open. That happened in Paris about a week and a half after Real Madrid. I'm screwing up with Twitter. Where's Twitter? After Real Madrid won in the Champions League in Paris as well. So this is getting absurd. Tennis is having a really kind of annoying moment where nobody knows like what the next step is. We've been in this world for like the last 15 years where it's Federer and Nadal, and for 5 minutes in there, Andy Murray was good, and then now you had Novak Djokovic just kind of taking everything over. But tennis is now looking for its next superstar. Djokovic is still clearly like the best player on the planet, but there's some time for other people to figure out like how to get at their level. However, nobody can beat Rafael Nadal. It is honestly, it's getting kind of weird. He's so old. He can't do it all. So Roger Federer a couple of years ago learned that if you take time off, you can be better at these big tournaments, which is the move, and I'm totally on board with that. Tiger Woods kind of does it now, but he might be finished. It's legitimately crazy. It's legitimately crazy that he won again. This is Tom Brady kind of shit. Nobody can beat him there. Nobody. He's like 111-13 at Roland Garros or something. It's like something bananas. So congratulations to Rafael Nadal. I literally cannot believe we're still talking about this. It is utterly flabbergasting that he's doing this. So shouts to him. That was really cool over the weekend. I am honestly to the point now. But the problem is that it's just clay. Shut up. God. I'm trying to get highlights for you people. These people just won't shut up. Speaking of golf, Max Homa set a PGA Tour record. Max Homa is famous on the internet, and he's famous for being friends with the Barstool guys and other famous internet people. He's okay. He's up and comer. Like making the cut at the Masters was a big deal for him. He set a record that was really crazy. At the Memorial Tournament, he won, and I think he won. I don't know if he won, but it took him only 99 putts at 4 rounds of golf, which is the lowest in the history of golf. There had been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys that had finished a tournament with 100 putts, including Cameron Tringale. I don't know who that is. Ernie Els, John Ogilvy, Spencer Levin. This goes all the way back to 2004, 2008. A bunch of people have had 101 putts to finish a tournament. He did it in 99, which is really cool. Also, not just because he set the record, but because on the records, he'll be the only person in double digits to go from triple digits to double digits, which makes it, like, I think, way cooler. I like that a lot. So, shut up. Why? I mean, these people, they want my data, and I understand. Like, if I'm trying to watch highlights, but then I don't play ball with them. This is super annoying. The Philadelphia Phillies were down 6-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning, and then full count, 2 out, bottom of the 8th. MVP Bryce Harper's up, and he did okay. Let's see. Is it still there? I want to see if it's there. The MLB makes watching highlights so hard. It's honestly hilarious. Like, I'm trying to give you money. Like, I would really like to give you money, but I can't. Here, would you like my money?
All
right, let's watch it. I know what happened. I haven't seen the highlight.
Called upon a bit earlier than what we might have imagined.
God, they're just such a poorly run organization. MLB is so bad. This is crazy. Like, why does the highlight suck this bad?
Some heroics from Harper. Here's the 3-2. Swung on. Crushed. He's done it. How about that for heroics into the...
So Bryce Harper ties the game with a grand slam. It's 6-6. Then we go to the bottom of the ninth, and it gets even crazier. I love walk-offs. This guy, I don't know who this guy is, but he's got the flow. Look at the flow. Oh, he's a rookie. 3-2, 2 out, bottom of the ninth. So I saw that highlight. He hits the walk-off home run, and the announcers were like, honestly, it was John Kruk is the Phillies color analyst. He was an old ESPN guy. ESPN people will remember him when SportsCenter was good. He said something like, honestly, with 2 strikes, you just put the bat on it and hope for the best. Like, oh, great. So baseball really isn't that hard. Joking. Walk-off home run for the Phils. That was really cool. The other cool baseball thing that happened over the weekend was, and you can watch the full video from John Boy Media. He got famous on YouTube, this guy, just this nerd. I think he's from Wisconsin. Just breaking down what was going on in the MLB. He's really good at lip reading. He's a really big baseball fan. He knows what's going on. He has like a couple million subscribers. He's awesome. So the Tigers were playing the Yankees, and the game was really close, and the Tigers have this rookie pitcher, and he's doing really well. But then the Yankees, for some reason, are shelling the shit out of him. And then people start to look at it, and it's only during when the guy's pitching out of the stretch, which is when runners are on base so that they can't pick him off, right? Well, then John Boy's watching the game, and he's like, why is the catcher doing all this weird stuff? So if you don't know, baseball now has an electronic signs system. So old school catcher signs, those are essentially all decoys or backups now. I believe there's an earpiece. The catcher can touch the thing on his thing, and it tells the pitcher what to pitch to prevent sign stealing or just to prove that baseball has enough money for technology. I don't know. So John Boy's watching the game, and he's like, why the hell is the catcher doing all this stuff? He's giving him signs. He's faking him out. And he's like, well, the Tigers must think that the Yankees know what pitch is coming. It turns out that's exactly what happened. This video is insane. I haven't watched the short one. Let's see what he talks about.
All night, and I untangled this web in the stretch. Looks straight ahead to third base.
Anyway, that's a great video. The link is in the show notes. It was a breakdown of how the Yankees caught the Tigers pitcher tipping pitches, and for multiple innings, this is what's crazy to me. For multiple innings, the Tigers were unable to figure out what the Yankees had figured out. Like, baseball is full of old dudes who don't do anything. How can another team figure out that you're tipping pitches? Don't you have guys that aren't even, like, there are 9 guys in the dugout who aren't even going to play that day, to say nothing of the 7 guys in the bullpen who aren't going to play that day. Is no one watching the game close enough to see, as a professional baseball player, that they're tipping pitches? And it went on for multiple innings. The Yankees were clever enough to understand that he was really good. This rookie is really talented. The only time he was tipping pitches is when there were runners on base. So there was one guy in the shift, right? There was one guy who came up to bat in the shift, and he literally bunted to get on base so that the pitcher would start tipping pitches. And he was tipping pitches so bad they would hit a home run, which would be a fuck up because then there would be no one on base. It was kind of amazing. This video is amazing. This kind of stuff is really fun. I enjoy this aspect of baseball, but I would never be watching a Yankees game, even a Tigers game, who I'm a big fan of. I don't know that I would ever be watching closely enough to pick up on something like that, but shouts to John Boy. He's the best. Can't endorse his channel enough. We'll get out of here on this big day in SportsCenter history every year in the summer. Somewhere in Europe, I believe I want to say Scotland, but I'm not 100% sure. They roll cheese down a hill, and people roll after it. And you remember that if you're a kid. Let's watch it. We'll get out of here on this. Back and better than ever tomorrow, folks. There they go. I'm legitimately surprised no one has ever died from this. So they're not rolling on purpose. They're running down the hill. There they go. You can watch on YouTube. You can watch on Spotify. Yep, there's someone who's hurt. I know that they tie. Amazing. Unbelievable. Be back and better than ever tomorrow morning.